I wanted
Hmm.
to kick it off talking about the Justice League Tower of Babel because we've been doing
Yes.
this thing where we pick a series or a little storyline or something. Chris and I usually figure out what we want to read. Uh, if whether we're rereading or something new, uh, and we go for it. So we read it and we talk about it with you guys, kind of discuss it. And this week's choice story was Justice League Tower of Babel. So, in case you guys don't know, this is a story from circa 2000. I think issues like 44 ish, 43 through 46 of JLA.
Yeah, because
Written by,
it's like 4 issues, something like that.
yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
short.
Yeah, but
This is
it gets
not
the job done.
It gets the job done, and this is in a time where there didn't have to be a million and a half tie-ins and variant covers and everything else just to tell a story that it needed to tell.
Yeah.
Written by Mark Waid, who is pretty renowned as far as comic book writers go, and
Mhm.
yeah, I mean this one just from the get, it was pretty fantastic.
Yeah,
Um,
because it kicks off with Raj,
Raj,
and
hell yeah,
I
what a
love
villain to
that.
choose too.
It
I
it
mean,
it wa- it was.
yeah. I mean, just like to pick from for any because you wouldn't think sit here and be like, oh, who is someone who would require the entire Justice League? I think we even talked about this as far as like what villain are we really going to get that would be so interesting that would require the entire Justice League? And you know how Superman is, Batman, like everyone, Martian Manhunter,
Mhm.
one of the most powerful beings that exist in DC universe. Like, how are you really going to stump all of them? And
Yeah,
Rod answers the question with a bang, dude. Like it was crazy. He just took
it
them
was.
all out systematically, one by one, with precision, and the timing was just there. So basically, let's go over how he took all of them out.
Yeah, so
First,
it basically kicks off with and I love how they make sure they got you to understand the type of person Raj is to begin with,
Mhm.
because it's him, and like he gets with his henchmen or whatever, and then one of them is like upset and is angry, crying or whatever because he killed a tiger.
Right?
And the importance of this tiger is not just that, Raj loves this tiger so much that since it's died, now he's like beyond going to be angry and ready to kill everybody. He cares for the tiger, but the main thing was this tiger was a special breed. So with
Yeah.
this tiger dying, that means that the breed will pretty much probably die out.
Right.
So Raj is listening to this dude, and the dude's like, I made a mistake. He wasn't doing it out of evilness, but he did it out of kindness, didn't not knowing he fed the tiger chocolate. He didn't
Like
know.
this
He
stuff
did.
is stupid. Like, come on, bro. The tiger don't eat chocolate. Come on.
Maybe you could blame Raj. Maybe you should blame Raj for putting someone like that in charge. Where
Right?
it's like,
Like,
if this dude's gonna do this, maybe you made a mistake by making him the one in charge of
yeah,
the
he did
tiger.
pick someone very stupid. The Tigers do come back into play later on in the story too.
It does.
But yes, so it does depict Raj as he's very concerned about preserving the rare species. He's got a whole like sanctuary that he walks through as
Yes.
well.
Yes. So I
That
just love
kind
it
of
how Ross tells the other guy, he's like, you know what? Fine. Just give him the same kindness he gave the tiger, which you
Mhm.
already know what that means. That dude's going to get killed. He's gone. That's
He's
right.
out of here.
We ain't
He's
seeing
done.
villain. We ain't seeing henchman number 62 ever again. Like, he's gone. Uh,
There's just
and,
a
and
number.
number 62, bro. That's who he is. That's who he
Yep.
is, bro.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out.
He's
He's
done.
out. He's out. So
Mm-mm.
I had to get 63 in there.
That's right.
So the thing about Raj, though, he's like an extreme environmentalist, basically. Like,
Yes.
the dude is similar. It's kind of similar to Thanos' mindset in the MCU, where it's like, I'm gonna like cut half of the population so we can it's gonna help. We're getting too overpopulated. Raj
Yeah.
is somewhat similar to that, but his mindset, and you gotta remember, he's been around for so freaking long with the Lazarus Pit and everything. He's
Yep.
seen the worst of humanity, and he
Yep.
truly understands one thing that is true. Long as humanity is where we're at, where like war is gonna always happen. It's something that is not gonna stop. It's something that's just basically inevitable. It's just,
Right.
when is it gonna happen again? And he sees society as something where we should cut it down and make it like a minuscule level of people left who really deserves to be here.
Right.
And he truly believes that. Like, he's not just like your typical villain of, oh, I'm just gonna world domination. Oh, like
Well,
that's not
there's a
who
little
he
bit of that too,
is.
but
It is, but he's not that though. Like he really believes what he's doing.
yes.
It's like something like a like he's not like, oh my god, the most relatable person, but you could understand where he's coming from, like a Magneto, you know, like villains like that. You can understand where they're
Right.
coming from at least.
Right. So
So
he
that's
wants to diminish the population
mm-hmm.
to allow just the human population. It wasn't Thanos where it was all life. So it's just the human population he's trying to diminish in order to, one, let the rest of the environment prosper
Yeah.
and come back to what it was, and two, so it's easier to rule over whoever's left. Is basically
Yeah.
what his mindset is at. But yes, you are correct. He really does believe that in conserving the environment and these endangered and almost extinct species, and his
Yeah.
intelligence, like you said, he's been around forever because of the Lazarus
He's been
pit.
around so long.
I don't even know how long
Yes.
this dude's been around, but it's a while. It's longer than your grandma's grandma, and
Yeah,
so
yeah. He ain't on that Vandal Savage level because Vandal Savage has been around since the Stone Age, but
right,
he's been around for a long time though.
right, yeah,
Then we cut to Bruce. And
Bruce, baby,
honestly, this is a very interesting one because it's a Justice League story, but
yeah,
you can make an argument this is more of a Batman story
Batman story. You're
in the
right,
grand
yeah,
scheme of things because we got Bruce sitting there looking at his, you know, he's trying to pay respects to his mom and his dad, so he's
dude,
heading to their grave, and then he noticed something.
his face cracks me up so much in this panel too, because it's like it's genuine. Like you would think someone was fucking his dead parents' corpse or something. Like the face that he's got in
Yes,
this panel is
I
like
pictured it in my
I was
head.
cracking up so much. I was like, all right, what's gonna happen? Obviously something's happening here. And it is an empty grave.
Mm.
Thomas and Martha's grave. It's just no one even bothered to refill the dirt or nothing like that.
My
Like
man said,
they
yoink.
just yeah, he just yoinked it out of the ground and left the dirt all around and everything. And well, obviously he wanted to make sure Bruce noticed,
That's the,
but
I mean, you'll notice this.
he's gonna notice that
Yeah.
for sure. And yeah, he know, and then he instantly is just on the case. So unknowingly to us, that he's being taken out of the picture, so to speak, with this move. But basically, Bruce is like, "What? Well, I'm gonna find where the hell my parents are because this is egregious."
Yes, yes, it is. And it's interesting because then you see, you got stuff going on with the league now. So you have, you know, Bruce is off to find out what the hell's going on. Who took his parents? He's on a one man army basically. I'm gonna get this handled. And then you got the league handling different situations.
Right.
And
So Martian
um,
Manhunter is the
yep.
next one to go.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Raj is taking them out in the order that he needs to. Uh, Sometimes out of the most powerful, but other times kind of like, uh, it's almost like a chess game that he's playing here. Like
Yes.
who do I need
Because
to
yeah,
take out first in order to get to the king? Maybe not. Have to take out the queen first. Sometimes you got to take out a rook, pawn, or a bishop, and that's basically what Raj is doing in this manner here. So here I would argue that he's taking out at least a bishop or if not the queen with John, because
because
I've
John
always said
put a lot of things together. Yeah, going after him because you see him get shot with something, but you don't really know the severity of it until they kick off with Wonder Woman, and Flash, who has a
Flash,
pretty
right?
cool interaction. Where honestly, I really like their interaction because a lot of times you don't see this from those two, but they're having a good time talking about things, and she's challenging Flash to a race. And FYI, Wonder Woman has no chance of beating Flash in a race.
Especially not Wally. Like I was sitting there like, wait, Wonder Woman is not that fast. Investigating a forest fire that happens
Yes.
after John was basically shot down out of the sky. And only come to find out that it's not really a forest fire. It's fucking Martian Manhunter on fire.
What he was actually shot with was like these nanoid
Like
little
nanobots. Yeah, it was almost
yes
like,
that went on
yeah,
him, and what it basically did is anytime he is, at least at this point, obviously he gets cured later on, we know, but at this point, if he touches anything like in the air, it's gonna
yeah,
basically ignite him.
right.
So
So
that was
it's just
really
a chemical
cool.
reaction with the air around him, basically, that
Yes,
just is incendiary, and it's which is freaking awesome
it
and
is.
genius.
It
So
is.
yes, so
It
Flash
is.
creates a vortex, like running around in circle really fast to put him out long enough to figure out, hey, it's Martian Manhunter. Hey, we got to figure out what's going on.
So then while that's going down, we get a situation with I think if I'm not right, it's Plastic Man and Aquaman.
Aquaman.
It'd be Plastic Man and Aquaman, and this ain't your grandmother's Aquaman who just sat around and talked to fish and just masturbated in the ocean all day.
Whoa, whoa,
It's
whoa,
not
whoa,
that one.
whoa, whoa. Was that what my grandma watched all this time? She didn't tell me a single thing. I had no idea. Grandma, what are you
Hey,
doing?
man, yo, that's what it was, bro.
Okay.
You know, it's so they're there. I
They're
can't
in
remember
like
what they were
they're in
dealing with. What,
England.
what was they dealing with? I can't remember before
They are
stuff popped off.
in the United Nations headquarters.
Mm-hmm.
And they are, what are they trying to take someone out or something? Or no, or someone was like infiltrating them, or there was a trap set. Something happened. Basically, once they get in there and there's like a big
Mm-hmm.
meeting going on, then they're attacked from like behind a wall type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. They
So they get
attacked by
attacked.
Raja's ghoul. I'm about to say Raja ghouls. Raja's henchmen, his boys.
Yes.
His ghouls.
Oh my gosh, why didn't they call them that?
That's
His
what I'm
ghouls.
saying. It's Raja's ghouls.
Oh man, a missed opportunity there. That's
Bro,
genius.
I'm gonna call him that from now on. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm gonna call him from now on, bro.
It's not the Goon
So
Squad,
his
it's
ghouls show
Ghoul
up.
Squad. His ghouls show up. All right, cool.
His ghoul squad shows up. And they shoot Plastic Man, good old Patrick. They shoot Patrick with a basically a ice cannon, basically. Like
Yeah,
they
it's
shoot him with
something
an
that
ice
like
cannon.
freezes him. But anyways, he's frozen, and then
He's
they're trying to
frozen,
break
and
him
the big
apart.
thing is, since he's frozen solid and he's plastic, and the way his body is, what's gonna happen if it falls? It's gonna break apart.
Right.
It's gonna, if you touch it wrong, it's gonna crack. It's gonna fall to pieces. So he's
So they
tucking
do
on
that.
the picture. Aquaman gets put around some water and he starts freaking out.
Freaking out.
And it's like, wait a minute, that's something's not right here, because not only is he called Aquaman, so that would be kind of a problem if Aquaman was afraid of water. He needs it to survive.
Thank you for explaining that one for us, Chris. Aquaman actually is usually around water, but it's kind of in the back.
I'm here to make sure you guys understand how it works.
No, I'm
So you
messing.
know
No,
what?
yeah, so
You're
Plastic
welcome.
Man is frozen, broken apart with a hammer. Aquaman is surrounded by this cloud, and they're like, get him some air, and they offer him some water. He freaks out.
He's like, no, get that away from me. Oh,
Right.
God.
Absolutely freaking out, and we're not sure what it is. And then we're back at JLA. They did take him to the watchtower. Okay, so they take him to the watchtower. I actually have it.
Yeah, now they're in the watchtower now.
Yeah, so they're at the watchtower. Superman's there, trying to figure out what exactly is going on to everyone. Right now, the only ones who have not been really targeted, Superman, Flash, and Wonder Woman, are the only ones that are kind of like, I mean, they're dealing with this crisis, but they have not been attacked.
So Superman contacts Bruce, and he's like, bro, we're being targeted. Like, they're targeting the league. And Bruce is kind of like paying attention, but he's not. So he's kind of just like, yeah, cool, got you. Can you take care of this?
Yeah, he's
And
like
Superman.
Superman.
He's on his crusade. He's
This is
like,
like one of my favorite parts because he's like, Superman, is it anything you can handle? Like, bro,
yeah, exactly. Like, you're Superman, bro. Like, you can take care of this. Let's be honest, Sue.
he's like,
You can deal with this by yourself. You don't really need me or them, really. Go do it. I got stuff to do.
it's what I say all the time in regards to Batman and Superman. Really, Batman's like, why are you there? Like, but come on, Bat. Like, what do you do? Like, Superman can handle this shit. What the fuck are
Like,
you doing?
we really,
And
yeah.
like, so Batman's basically like acknowledging that, and he's like,
Yeah,
Superman, like, I'm in the middle of something. Can
exactly.
you handle
You
it?
really don't need me. Go do
So-
Superman things. You handled crazy crap before we became the League, so go do something. Deal with it. I don't care.
That's right.
Let me know if Darkseid shows up. All right, but until then, go do something. Do Superman things. I got stuff to take care of, bro. I got to do some groceries, bro. Calm down.
He just like turns the channel off too. He's like, click.
yeah, like Batman didn't care, bro. He had his own stuff to deal with. So this is now where we have, if I'm not right, we have Wonder Woman and Flash go to Kyle's house.
They go to check on Green Lantern.
Before that happens, though, something big does happen. People and Superman's going to investigate, figuring things out. He goes to the Daily. I'm about to say what is the Daily Planet, right? Isn't his the Daily Planet?
Daily Planet, yep.
Daily Planet. I'm like mixing him and Spider-Man.
The most simple shit that we forget is hilarious. Like,
I know, isn't it?
Slips out of your mind. Yes, Daily Planet. Yep, he's at the
So
Daily
he heads to the Daily Planet, and then he ends up he's reading something, and then out of nowhere, he can't read it anymore. The words are completely like changing, and then it's basically gibberish. Everything. And at first he's thinking it's just him.
Right.
But then you end up finding out, no, it's everywhere.
Everyone, everything, not just on the words of the newspaper. He looks outside the window, street names, signs, everything is just it. Basically, he says it's Babel.
Superman decides to contact somebody else, see if they can figure something out. He contacts Oracle. And I was like, when I first read this years ago, I'm like, that's Oracle. And the thing is, this is where, honestly, Oracle is Barbara Gordon's most popular role. Superman is talking to her like, do you have any idea what's going on? They end up finding out and figuring out that something has been shot out that has made it where it's a frequency, has made it where it's messing with everybody's brain, and they can no longer read anything. So it's freaking out everywhere. Military's going crazy. They're like, what do we do?
Just think about like how exactly how like very quickly that would just change the world. Now we're back with Flash and
Wonder Woman heading to Kyle's house. So they get to the Lantern's house. They're trying to figure out which door is his because they can't even freaking read. But they figure out. They enter in, and if I'm not right, I think I remember Kyle basically just saying like Wally or whatever. And he's sitting there like doing nothing. He's in a suit or whatever, but he's doing nothing. Yeah. And they walk up to him, and they end up finding out that he can't see anything. Forget reading. Blind. He's completely blind.
Completely blind. And that's the cliffhanger they left for us for that first issue. And man, like that was great. That was a good one because obviously they've already gotten to Kyle, so he has been attacked. He has been taken out. And so now we're on the next part 2, and the cover for that one, by the way, is really dope. It's Batman like playing the rest of the Justice League like they're marionettes. Like on
that is neat.
So I really like that as far as how it integrates into the story. I thought that was a very, very awesome cover. A great choice.
Yes. So Cal is like telling these dudes, bro, I can't see anything. Like I can't see. Forget the reading crap. I can't see anything to even look at the nonsense. Right. And like, Wonder Woman's like trying to calm him down, but obviously just imagine that. Like you wake up and then all of a sudden everything's just dark.
Yeah.
No, and you obviously know that it's morning, but you can't see anything.
Right.
And everything was good that previous night. Like, that's a fear, man. Like, that is a terrible feeling. Like, whether you're a superhero or not. Yeah. Like, even him being a superhero, that's freaking him out.
Yeah. 100%. I would not be able to imagine something like that. So that's
Ugh,
pretty crazy just to wake up and you're blind.
it
Um,
is.
Now, meanwhile, back at Ra's al Ghul, we
Mhm.
have Batman, who's like, "What's up, motherfucker?" Breaks on in, has dead bodies in his hands. Well, probably not dead because he's Batman, but
Deuces, bitch.
he's got lifeless bodies in his hand that he looks like he just knocked down the door with their bodies, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Look, what the fuck is going on?" He obviously guessed correctly. It didn't take him that long to it wouldn't freak out Daredevil. He was freaked out when it first happened. Damn it, Ryan. Wait, Daredevil wakes up blind every day. Of course it won't.
Yeah. I mean, that happens to him as a kid. So, that happens
Yeah.
as a child. You gotta, you're an adult. You got in your 30s. You gotta get used to it.
Oh Lord. Anyways, so Batman's there. He's like, "What's up, Raj? What's playing?" And Raj is like, "Hey, look, it's your dead parents hung above the Lazarus pit." Dude,
Yes,
that is twisted.
it
Oh
is.
my gosh. He's just like, "Look." And then Batman has another one of those faces where he's like just another one.
Because here's the biggest thing, and this is where things get so interesting because he dangles over Batman's head and he's like, I can drop them in there. At first, the main thing is a threat, knowing Batman, but at the same time, it's also like a bargaining chip. Like, hey, you become the heir because Raja feels Batman is the ultimate heir. That he's the guy who could take over for him and replace him, and everything will be perfectly fine. In reality, Raj isn't wrong. If Batman had the mindset and was like cool with it, Batman would be the perfect heir for Raj. He's not
Right.
wrong.
Yeah.
But obviously, that's not Batman's MO. That's not what he's trying to do. So,
Right.
but he's like, look, you join me, I bring your parents back. And there's a moment where Batman's thinking about it. Like
Yeah,
he's really
he's considering
contemplating,
it.
like, should I? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, for a
what,
second there he's like, "Oh man, I don't know. I don't know."
like
But I mean, there's got to be a part of him that knows like it wouldn't be the same. Like it's basically like the same shit that happened with Jason. And like there's a cost for going into the Lazarus pit.
but here's the thing too, especially back, like it's like it's the cost of insanity, but it is a temporary insanity depending on how much times you keep using it. And then it's also, again, I hate saying this, but it has to be said. It still depends on the writer too,
Right.
because some writers are like, no, it's a permanent insanity, and then other writers are like, no, it's just temporary. And the main
Temporary.
thing has been it's a temporary one, but it becomes worse and worse the more you use it. Then
Right.
you become more and more crazy.
Right.
So it's one of those like really weird things, and I always hate that because it's just like, can we
And
try
then
to keep
but
content?
also so there's that part, right? But then there's also the part of if Batman's parents came back, or
Mm-hmm.
he allowed them to come back, or it was successful, you get past the temporary insanity, everything like that. Is Batman still Batman after that?
No, he's completely nerfed, as we would say, as gamers would say when they send a patch out and make the stuff that was good completely garbage. I'm about to go on a rant on anyway. So um, it's one of
Yeah,
those things.
so he has to
Huh?
consider. I'm just saying he has to consider that part of himself too. Like almost his whole identity has been
It
defined by
is.
losing his parents,
It is.
and so if his parents came back, it's almost like an existential crisis of who am I,
Yeah.
type of thing, because he no longer. I mean, just psychologically, he no longer has an identity now because his parents are back.
Because the big thing about his parents, that's like I've always made the thing of like it's kind of a joke, but it is a true factor. Bruce is always the guy who has never gotten over the fact that his mommy and daddy has died. And I make it seem like he should just get over it, and I make like fun of it, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm just being
Right, right.
true to the fact that that's who he really is. Like
Hmm.
that is one of his biggest weaknesses. And the key thing is, if his parents was to just come back, a lot of Bruce's motivation when things seem that he can't win, he's motivated by the fact that what made him Batman, his parents' death. So if that's gone, Bruce would give up. He would give up in many situations that motivated him to keep going, and he would not be Batman anymore. That's his biggest motivation. That's who, like Tim said, that's who he is. So
yeah,
of course, Batman's like, nah, fam, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing any of that, bruh. He's like, Dex my man in the freaking face.
Yes. And let's see what we got here. So yes, he does that, but back at Kyle's place, we have basically Flash and Wonder Woman are like, we're about to get attacked. They do in fact get attacked by the Ghoul Squad, if I may.
Yeah.
Rajal Ghouls. And so there are two like little chip type nanobots again fired. One goes to Wonder Woman, and it makes her imagine that she is being attacked by a very worthy opponent, basically someone that she is just equally matched to and could fight forever. In her head anyway, so she is still experiencing the grueling torment of a battle, a never-ending battle, but it's not actually happening. It's just
and
all
that
in
is
her
Wonder
head.
Woman's. That is like the perfect weakness, and that is one of her. And that is like the perfect way to take her down, because Wonder Woman will fight to the bitter end. So she will fight that person until she can't fight anymore. So she would basically kill herself from exhaustion eventually. And with this being an imagined, like something that's not even real, it's basically going to call. Obviously, she's not eating, she's not doing anything. She's just going to die, continuously fighting this person that doesn't exist. So that was the perfect counter to her. That is like the perfect counter to her.
And then Flash gets hit in the spine with something that basically causes him to have what is it? Some type of seizure? Epileptic
seizures at a basically speed of light situation. Like it's basically that fast. Because if it was something where it was like it would trigger every couple of seconds, but like let's say it triggers every 5 seconds. Between those 5 seconds, Flash would still be able to do something. So he would still be able to, even those few seconds, he would be able to take pretty much everybody out. And he would be able to do what he needs to do.
He would be able to do it because it's
exactly like you're not going to be able to see him. He's he's still doing what he had to do before it actually triggers. And don't forget, Wally, Barry, these guys are not stupid. They're very smart guys.
Yeah.
So he would have been able to take care of business before it triggered. And if it triggers in like every 5 seconds, he would possibly be able to counteract it. Like he's going to get hit for a few seconds, but he might be able to recover quick enough to do more damage before he's actually fully taken out if it does take him out. So they made sure it was basically continuous.
Exactly. Light speed, 100%, never ending. And so here's a really cool part. I know this is jumping ahead a little bit, but basically Wally says, I feel like there were some days that I wanted to die while that thing was
catching him, how long have I been out for? Martian pauses and says, how many minutes?
22 minutes.
22 minutes, and it freaks Flash
out. Yeah, because he's experiencing all of that in his perception of time. Which is
not in reality because of how quick he is.
Oh, which was so dope. Like, because there's even a scene in the Invincible show where the dude's like with his girlfriend or whatever. It's like at the very beginning. I think it's the first episode, but it's basically the Flash counterpart. I don't remember what his name is, but he's like, usually spending time with anyone is agonizing because I live it in like nanoseconds. So basically, like this picnic date is multiple days for me. But I'd rather spend it with you because, blah, 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 whatever romantic bullshit he was spewing. But like to make you think like that's how Flash also perceives time. It is.
Yep.
So like for him to be attacked by this thing and he thinks it's days and days and days of torture, and really it's just 22 minutes. I thought that was so badass, dude. That was so crazy. Thank you. I knew Ryan would know. Red Rush is what the character's name was in Invincible. Thank you. But yes, so now that was, I loved it. I loved it. But I jumped ahead. So let's go back to them trying to figure out how to stop this frequency that's going on.
Okay, so let me address this wall. So hit him with what happens next.
So Superman is basically like trying to find the wavelength. I guess the ultrasonic wavelength, because he can see sound, which I actually did not know that he could see sound, but apparently he can see sound.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can see sound.
So he like not only can he see sound, but he can like see these very specific wavelength apparently of like whatever fucking hertz that was causing it. And I was just like, all right, that seems like we're just making Superman the most fucking powerful that he possibly can.
Dude,
right
this is why I always say when I see stories where they nerf Superman for no real reason. Obviously, the reason is to make him more, quote unquote, relatable to the situation, and like,
Yes.
we just don't have Superman just one shot everybody. I do get that part, but there's times where they just completely just take away powers that we know he can do, and then have him lose in a situation where it's like, wait a minute. He could have done so and so, and he would be able to get the job done. Let's at least like stop. Either stop giving him these powers, or just stop randomly taking them away, and then 5 minutes later giving them back to him when he could have used it 5 minutes ago to win the fight. Like, stop it! Like, it makes me angry. Obviously, I'm a big Superman fan, so
I know. Yeah, but so he sees the one like 0.001 hertz of whatever that's inconsistent, and he's like, this is what we need to do, this is how we need to make the counter whatever for it.
My man does exactly what Batman was saying.
Yeah, and they're like, can you trace it? And he's like, yeah, but not as fast as the Flash can, because he doesn't know the Flash has been incapacitated at this point. And I was like, so not only can he see the wavelength of sound, which is already unbelievable, but not only that, but he can trace where it's coming from as well. So I was like, all right, well, that's interesting. But anyway, so yeah, we see more freakouts of what's going on, more of like Wonder Woman's endless and constant battle, the Flash in super amount of pain. Superman is trying to figure out how to block this one particular wavelength, and does, but only from Metropolis.
He uses the machine that he got from Brainiac in one of their tussles.
Brainiac, that's right.
He uses that to
liberate Metropolis. So Metropolis is good.
Nowhere else.
Nowhere else in the world, but Metropolis is now good. So then let's see where we get.
This is the part where, if I'm not right, we got it pretty much goes. We got before we get to Raj and Bats. I'm thinking it's the part where Kyle is trying to fight people off, even though he's blind, so he can't. So he's like just shooting, trying to hit something, trying to use sound as basically his weapon. And the thing that makes Kyle so cool, what made him so unique and what made him such a fan favorite, is the fact that he's so creative when it comes to his constructs, where, Hal, all of them are creative, but Hal was just like wrenches and boxing gloves, stuff like that. Where my man Kyle was like making robots and stuff, basically Gundams and shooting people and everything.
Almost looked like Mega Man that came out.
That's what I'm saying. His stuff was always super creative, and what helps with that is he's an artist. So being an artist, he's art. So he creates cool stuff, which made sense, and it was really, really, really. I always loved that. I always loved that about him, and I always felt John was way more, because of the military stuff, was more like weaponized, and stuff like that. So they all was different and unique and cool in their own way. But anyway, so he's trying to do whatever he can, but he can't see. And also being an artist is also a weakness here. Him, needing to see things
to be able to design it, right?
Exactly, is making him. He can't do much, and then he gets shot in the back. I think Talia shoots him in the back and takes him out. I think it's Talia who shoots him and takes him out. Then that's when we cut back to Bats, right? We go to Bat and Raj.
Back to Batman and Raj. And Batman's like, nah.
They're having their talk and everything.
He's like, "No, I'm not doing it. I'm not letting my parents come back." Blah blah. Blah. And punches Raj Al Ghul right in the chin. Gives him the
Mm,
old uppercut.
yes.
Boom.
Sure.
And and then Raj is like, "Surprise, motherfucker!" and pulls out what you think is
Red
just like, yeah, it's
kryptonite.
just a glowing red thing until you figure out. Then Batman's like freaking out. He has another one, dude. I swear to God, they put his face in the same way like throughout this whole series because it's another one where he's just like, and you're like, well, what could he possibly be freaking out about now? Like it's just a
Yeah,
red glowy
yeah, it
thing, and then you're
was.
like, yeah, it's red kryptonite.
Yes, and
What's
the
up,
big
bitches?
thing is like, of course, Batman. You know, a lot of people's like, how does he know about this stuff? How would he know about red kryptonite? He shouldn't
How
know about that.
How
Something's
would
not
he
right here.
know? How would he know? And then you're like, wait a minute, Batman's running away from a fight because he's like, oh my god, and just sprints out of there. He's like, Superman!
Yes, he's trying to get
Wah!
in touch with Superman, but
Yes,
it's not working.
right.
Their link is not working right, and he's trying to talk to him and tell him, you need to get don't go there. You need to get out of there. Basically, you need to like shit's about to go bad. But
Yes.
obviously, he's not getting to him in time. Superman gets there. Looks like Superman's gonna take everybody out with ease. And then what happens, James?
All right, so Superman bursts through and Batman, no wait, hold on. Superman is actually I thought Superman was at this point trying to rescue um Flash, right? Or no? Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
he doesn't he burst through the building to go get because he's heading to where Flash and Wonder Woman are at.
Right.
Yeah, he's going there.
And so and then yeah, Batman's trying to be like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, come
Batman's
on.
trying to tell him,
But then
yo,
Talia whips out her part of the red
whoosh.
kryptonite. Yeah, just whips it out. Just a big red kryptonite dildo that she's got in her back
I knew he
pocket.
was going to throw it with she whips out her big red. I'm like, what are we going here?
Yeah, look, if it ain't a dildo, I don't know what the fuck it is. All right, look.
Pretty sure it did
uh,
look like a dildo in the
yeah,
comic, but all right.
no, it's just a big lump of red kryptonite. So, and he's like, no, oh my god, what is it? It's like kryptonite, but it's not kryptonite. And she's like, no, it's very special kryptonite. It doesn't kill you as fast, but it makes basically it makes his skin like transparent, right? And then so
So what it so
the
what it
sun and
does?
everything that gives him energy
Uh-huh.
actually ends up like cooking him inside, if I'm not wrong.
No. What it does is it actually amps his
Oh, it
powers
amps
to an
him. Oh, okay. Got it.
extreme level where his body is not able to react to it. So one of the reasons how Superman Prime 100, 1 million, whatever, one of the how he came into existence, remember, it took so like hundreds of years for him standing there absorbing the power of the sun.
Right.
So it took so long for him to become probably the most powerful being in all of anything, but it took such a long time. So what this does is force feeds energy to him in a way where he's not able to control how much goes in, where he can slowly get the amp. This just
Got it.
forces it into his body and it's feeding him. And honestly, it's making Superman out at a super powerful level. The problem is the pain is way too intense, and he's fighting everything in his body not to blow up on him because it's that
Right.
intense energy and
Not
power
to
going through his body. And if he
unleash.
makes a mistake, he's
Right.
gonna die. So
Right.
that's why his body is messing up, turning red. That's the power and energy, and him fighting not to freaking blow up and just have his super guts all over everybody.
Right. I do remember him saying, or them saying, that he was fighting not to basically explode. I
I
just
think they say
couldn't.
that later on when he's in the tower. Yeah. But
Right. I
yeah,
just
so that's
couldn't.
basically
I
how that works
wasn't
out. That
sure.
it's
Got it.
amping him to an extreme level, but in a bad way.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So now Superman is at that point. Wonder Woman's been overtaken. Now he's been overtaken. Obviously, we talked about how Kyle is now blind. Flash is in his little seizures. Batman. We end on this issue with Batman like leaping out of Roz's like hideout and saying, "Superman, I did this to you," and you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Yep.
Batman is saying that he
Yep.
did this to Superman, and you're like, oh man, now I gotta see what happens next. So now we're in part 3 of
Mm-hmm.
Tower of Babel Justice League. The entire fucking Justice League, aside from Martian Manhunter, who they were able to get into a suit. We didn't really get into that, but basically got him into a suit where he's not exposed to the elements, so he's no longer constantly catching on fire.
Because
Thankfully.
technically, the ones who are still technically good, we know for a fact was, which we kind of skipped over a little bit, but was Aquaman, and
Well,
they
Aquaman's
was
not
able to
really.
put.
He ain't really good.
Yeah, he's not really good, but he's good enough, and they was able to put Plastic Man back together, but he had to still be contained, so everything before, because he wasn't completely good to go. And he
Yeah.
told, and Aquaman, he's the one who told Wally and Diana to go on, that if anything popped off, he's good enough to protect Plastic Man. So he said, "Y'all go," and
Yep.
yeah, so he sent them off. So yeah, so
Yeah,
technically.
Aquaman gave Martian Manhunter one of the Atlantean suits of water, basically just to kind of contain him and keep him good. But he's not really good for fighting because it's not like a very strong suit. But it is good enough, at least, to keep him from spontaneously combusting, which is always
And he
good.
can use most of his power still in the suit too, to be fair.
Right.
So
Yes.
kind of good. Because he's the one who saves the day.
Basically, I mean,
Yeah.
that when it comes down to it, he is who's supposed to save the day, in my opinion, because he is extremely powerful. So we're back. We're like, Batman is like, no, I can't believe I did this to you. He's desperately trying to reach any member of the team to try to warn them, because he seems to know what had happened.
Mhm.
Raj basically hacked into some of Batman's files and figured
Mhm.
out some confidential information about the team, and is using this now to his advantage. And so Batman, knowing what he has compiled on the Bat computer, uh, is,
All right.
is freaking out.
Yeah.
The Ghoul Squad is
Yep.
like, "Listen, Batman, we're here to fuck you up." And Batman's like, "Nah, you can't do it, son." And then the trigger is pulled for the communication, the sound part of the Tower of Babel is now put out. The signal is put out into the world, and so now no one can understand even what people are saying
Yep.
without the Ghoul Squad blocker.
Mhm.
So now Batman's like, "Oh shit, everyone's speaking gibberish." He's trying to communicate over the things. He's almost ready to get in touch with one of the members of the team, Aquaman, and then his entire language goes to gibberish, as well as everybody else. So they push him off the cliff, and they're like, "Cool, no one can survive that." Not knowing, of
Yeah, we
course.
killed him because
Yeah.
Batman has never survived this before.
So then we go back to the JLA headquarters.
Yeah, because
Plastic Man.
we kind of missed. Oh no, go on.
Oh, I was gonna say Plastic Man is coming back into consciousness. It seems like he is about, he's not 100% yet, but he's on the mend. He's on the
Yeah.
rise. He's able to use some of his powers and help Aquaman, who is 100% about to die due to lack of water. So basically, they trick his mind with the help of Martian Manhunter to hallucinate that he's in a desert while putting him in a large tank of water,
Yes.
which I thought was pretty cool. What I also thought was really cool was that Plastic Man then uses one of his fingers to like get super, super thin,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like so thin and tiny and small that he's able to go inside of Wonder Woman's ear and find the little nano bug and yank it out and destroy it to help Wonder Woman. So now we have
Yeah.
Plastic Man's back. Martian Manhunter is kind of back. He can use most of his powers. Aquaman is back in water. So the JLA, they're starting to come back. We're on the
Yeah.
rise here with the
Yes. So
JLA.
the only thing I was gonna say is that we we didn't skip it, but we kind of like missed a little bit was when like how they got like really here. We did bring up that Martian had a suit, but Martian was the one who came and saved everybody, and
Yes,
then
brought
that
him
led
back.
to everybody getting saved. That was in that sticky situation, and
Right.
yes, and it's also interesting. I guess now we can get to the point of why did they go after Martian first? It was simple and it was really, really cool. And I love it because they
Yeah.
went after him first because of this right here. the fact that he can use his telepathy to communicate with people. So if they would have went after, especially like you could say, well, let's go after the biggest fish first. Let's go after Superman. Let's go after him first. If they would have went after Superman, and then you go after Wonder Woman, or you go after whatever, you take out. It doesn't really matter who you go after first, but you start taking the other ones out. Because of Martian's telepathy, he would have figured it out.
Yes.
Quickly figured it out. And then he would have been your biggest problem. He's hands down your biggest problem. Because even in this situation where everybody is Babel, and you can't understand anything, he's able to use his telepathy to still communicate with the rest of the league, and they can understand each other that way.
And like
that's why he's the most dangerous target.
Right. Almost like it's like an inter-person communication system where they can just set up like their own little thing and just communicate to each other, which is really, really cool to think about. And
that's how that's actually how they got to the league and found out where each member was, because the league actually does have their own communicators and their own way of communicating with each other. So they use those frequencies to also like know where those guys are. It basically became their tracking system for the league. So that's how they was able to get to them, because no one's supposed to be able to do that. But that's how they got to them. But with Martian, it's at a much more advanced level, because he's able to, like, you're able to communicate with each other. No one else is going to be able to do that because he's using telepathy power. So he's only getting in people he wants to get in.
Right. Which is, oh my gosh, that part was so cool. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier, that the way that Raj set it up, I mean, it is a chess match. Like, he was playing it so perfectly with which pieces to remove before he went after the next piece, which traps to set to get to the king, basically. And so now, you know, obviously they're coming back. They're able to get like Superman like just calm enough to focus and destroy the thing that was attached to Wally's spine, so that he stops having his seizures. That's the part where we were talking about, where he was like, I felt like it was days and days and days, and it was just 22 minutes.
And that was the thing. Superman had to like slowly calm and like focus and get himself back and get away, obviously, from the red kryptonite, and slowly get himself to normal. But to me, the craziest revelation happens when they get to Kal, and Martian figures out, because he's like, can you help me? And he figures out, he's like, yeah, there's nothing I can do, because what's actually happened, they got to you way before stuff actually probably popped off. You can make an argument he might have been the first person they really got to. And when they got to you, what they basically did was put it in your mind to make the ring, put all your focus and have the ring make you blind. So the only person who can stop that is you. Your willpower is the only thing that can get your sight back. Which I was like, whoa.
Yeah. No, that reveal.
I didn't know the ring can do that. You can use the ring to make yourself blind. I didn't know you can actually do that at that point.
Right. Yeah, no, I was like, well, that part was crazy, because they were like, basically, because he even said you don't go to sleep with your ring on, but you woke up with your ring on, and that's kind of how they like trace it. So he's afraid of using like his dreams to have the ring activate and create anything, especially if he was having like a nightmare or something like that.
Right, which would happen in theory, yeah. So that part makes tons of sense.
So instead, when he was asleep, apparently, whatever hypnosis, which I don't actually believe in, but for the sake of the story, hypnosis tactics to make him think that he was blind, and then put the ring on him while he was sleeping, and then the ring carried out the fact that he thought he was blind from the hypnosis. So that was a pretty crazy mind fuck. And they removed the ring from him, and they're basically like, just tell yourself that you can see. Just tell yourself that you can see, and you'll be able to see. And sure enough, you know,
slowly but surely,
got his couple minutes later, he was able to see. Superman is kind of using, obviously they're in space at this point, but Superman is using his super sight and hearing to see just the craziness that's going on Earth right now. And dare I say that he sheds a tear?
I swear to God, James. You know what, bro? Wait till the screen's over. I'm coming right there. I'm getting sick and tired of your disrespect.
I knew.
I know what you're doing.
I knew for a fact that I wouldn't be able to read through this story without some crying Superman, because that's just how it is, yo. That's just how it is. So there ain't no story that Superman don't cry in. And
Oh
so
my
there we
God.
go. The appearance of the crying Superman. I knew it was going to happen eventually. So, all right, now I'm just fucking with you. So, yeah, Superman sheds a tear. He sees everything that's going on. We go back to Raj and Talia kind of going over, what their plans on. And at this point, I think this is pretty important too, because Talia starts to break away from the path of the almighty Raj Al Ghul.
And what puts her at that tipping point is she's told by Ghoul Squad member 78 that member 74's plan was successful and Batman is dead.
Batman's dead.
But actually, and to find out, Ghoul Squad member 78, it's not actually 78. That guy actually got taken out by the disguised Batman. So that was Batman who put that in there. And the reason why he did that is because.
Well, yes,
what happened?
So that he is able to hear, because in their costumes is the blocker or whatever, so that they can communicate. But
no, but the main reason he did that is to get Talia, because he knows Talia and he knows that she doesn't completely agree with Raja's plan. She never really fully agreed with it. Right. It's his mindset. She's always had her own thing. The thing is, though, she always goes back to Daddy. Like, she's Daddy's girl. She's always goes back to Daddy, right? Mm-hmm. So this was his way of kind of tipping the scale in his favor. And Batman knows that by getting her this information and getting her so angry, because she was angry, thinking that Batman was dead, that she would probably turn.
Gotcha. Another smart move by the detective Bruce.
Yeah.
So here's the part about this whole scene that made me just like laugh and laugh and laugh. All right, so Batman is disguised as a Ghoul Squad member, and they got like these blue, number 78. They got this blue like wrap around his head, and his head is circular, and like it just looks like a regular old member of the Ghoul Squad. Then he removes that, and underneath is the actual Batman cowl with the ears. But there's like, where did the ears even come from? Because like it's smooth, and then as soon as he starts removing it, like the bat ears are just like straight up, and I'm like, these are not flexible bending ears.
Because in most stories, they're actually really sharp. They're not something that bends.
I was fucking dying, dude. That shit like had me cracking up so much. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I said the same thing years ago when I saw this story. I was like, something's not right here. They're not. They should have, in theory, probably do the damn thing, because like they're really sharp. But no, I thought he just
I've ever seen. Shit cracked me up. But anyways, so somehow he's I guess we'll just explain that to Batman logic. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Bad logic.
Wayne Enterprises nanotech is the one that's hiding. I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, I was laughing my ass off seeing
it. Was funny.
God almighty.
It was funny.
So we're back
so it's the one of the big things why Superman was really sad too is because him knowing that Bruce is the one who did this, and all of the league.
Oh yeah.
Now they're in a situation where they don't really they're wondering if they can trust him. It hurts him even more because honestly, out of all the members of the league, Batman's cool with him, yes, but Batman's best friend is Bruce. I'm sorry, Batman's best friend is Bruce. Like, Batman's best friend is Clark, and league wise, like Superman and Batman are very, very close. So Superman is like. Not only did you lie to me and lie to us, you lied to me, and you're the reason why all of this is happening.
Yeah, they do piece that together. Even though Bruce was trying to be like, "Hey, look, it was my fault. And he's just trying to push past it. Like even when he's trying to warn them, he's just like, "Hey, look, it was me, but here's how we fix it." And he just isn't able to comprehend. Partly because he's sociopathic, but mostly because he's just not able to comprehend that all the other members of the league now feel extremely betrayed that Batman had these files of not only what their strengths and weaknesses were, right, but also how to either manipulate or take them out. And like
It was a
exactly,
contingency plan.
yeah, his contingency plan of if they were to turn, if they go bad, if basically. But again, like because even at some point Martian Manhunter comes out and says, hey, look, I had something similar, I just didn't have an offensive plan, I had a defensive plan, while Batman's sitting here like, this is how I kill all these motherfuckers. So basically
Yes.
Ra's al Ghul, he didn't have to like do much thinking once he got that information. It was just a matter of like, who do we take out first and what order kind of thing. Because Batman basically laid the plans out of like, this is how you fucking kill all of us.
Yes.
Is basically what it is.
Yes.
So
So
of
now
course
we're basically
they feel betrayed
they do
at
feel
this
betrayed.
fact. Mm-hmm.
They
And
do.
they're
So
like,
now we're basically going, we're basically getting to the end now. And it basically comes to now Batman is like talking to them, and the League don't really trust him. They're hesitant. They're listening to him, and they're very hesitant. And I love how the first thing Superman does just goes straight to Bruce. And he's just like, what the fuck?
Superman feeling of betrayal is almost enough to bring a tear to the eye.
I swear to God, bro, I will find where you live. Like, y'all need to stop disrespecting Superman, bro. Y'all are playing, y'all.
That panel, though, where Superman is just like, what's up, motherfucker? Like, Batman's flying in the Batplane.
Yeah.
And he's up above and everything. And then it's just like, boom, there's Superman.
Yep.
And he's pissed, bro.
Yes.
He's like, arms crossed, looking at him, not moving, just kind of like suspended there in the air. Again, with the sun at his back, which I thought was really well, like
just
how
a
they did that.
badass scene.
Great painting. Like, that panel could be framed. 100%. I thought that was really dope. So that, I mean, it was just a really powerful, like, no words were even needed.
Yes.
There was no dialogue or anything like that. It was just very powerful how like Superman's like, what's up, bro? Like, what the fuck just happened? And so I thought that was really cool how they depicted that without like any words. So they traced the signal back to this tower, the Tower of Babel, if you will. And Superman's like, I'm just gonna fucking just destroy this shit.
He
Like,
tells them straight up, everybody leave.
Yeah. He's like, I've had enough.
Bro, deuces.
I don't give a fuck. Take out the Ghoul Squad. We are exploding this fucking tower. And that's it. And he's like, he just walks off in his badass panels that he's just like, he's on fire. And he's just like, fuck it. Like, he comes out of the burning building and he's just like,
Superman is always the best. Because when Superman, because the argument they always use anytime Superman loses is, well, he's holding back because he doesn't want to kill blah blah. He's always holding back. That's like their plan of like, well, Superman may have lost this, but he was holding back. So,
Right.
give him something. But when Superman is not, he's just pissed off. It's always the best, dude. I love that Superman. We're just like, no, I'm gonna destroy some shit now.
Yeah, he's like, I've had enough with all of this.
Yes,
I've got to talk to Bruce, and this shit. He's like, and I got to pick up my kids in an hour. Fuck this shit.
So they basically split up. After all that, they basically split up, and Wonder Woman and like I can't remember who went with Wonder Woman, but they went and like just took out
all together at this point.
Yeah, the rest they did their little thing, and then it was Bruce and Batman who flew out together. Batman being carried by Bruce, which is always funny. And Batman being carried by Superman. Damn, I think I said Batman being carried by Bruce.
I was like, damn, Batman's being carried by Bruce now. All right.
It's amazing, bro. Batman's Batman being carried by Superman. And then that's when they really had their talk, and Batman explained why he did and have the contingency plan and why he was doing that because of what, he feared or whatever could actually happen.
Yes.
So to basically wrap it all up, they get there. They're, dealing with the Batman explains Superman, though, why he wasn't really helping them out, what really went down to kind of ease Superman a little bit. And then Superman's like, oh, Superman has a face too. When he tells him about that, he took his mom and his dead parents. And Superman makes
yeah. No, yeah. Oh, yeah. See that face? I swear I need to figure out who did all like the drawing, but like that they've used that face quite a few times throughout the series. It just cracks me up. The Batman ones were the funniest, but Superman definitely had a couple where he's like,
Blah, like some Hank Hill shit.
The parents.
Yeah, exactly. So Superman was gonna run up in there and just get the caskets, but
Yeah.
nah, fam, that stuff is connected with some red kryptonite. So Superman's like, I gotta back on up, Bruce. I'm sorry, bro. I can't do it.
Okay, so yeah, Raj is basically like, look, Superman has a weakness. He cares for the animals just as much as me, basically. And while they're taking out Ghoul Squad member 85, because
Yep.
Ghoul Squad member 85 shot Talia, which, by the way, that happened. So Talia was actually in the process of possibly betraying Raj Al Ghul, of kind of like saying like what was going down.
Yeah.
And then this dude was like, nah, son, and shoots her. And then Raj is like thinking for some reason, like this, just as much of an idiot as the person who fed the tiger chocolate at the beginning of the story. This motherfucker thinks that he'll be rewarded for shooting the daughter of the person in charge. Like, I don't know what goes through these people's minds, but this dude's like, nah, son, you're
real
getting
stupid, bro.
He's basically
linking
it together
62.
and saying you're going to be fed to the tigers. That there's only like 12 of these left, and I have 2. So you're getting fed to these tigers. So it's kind of like a full circle thing. Yeah, so basically then Superman comes in hot and heavy, but he has to rescue that dude, and he's like, I'm gonna get the parents, like you said, the coffins. But no, there's a big old chunk of red kryptonite there. So now basically we find part 2 of Raj's plan, that he's trying to release now a biological weapon, a virus, because and cause mass warfare through a virus, basically.
Yes, because Talia was saying that. Yeah, he's trying to by releasing, like, the initial thing is to release this panic, make the panic, everybody freak out to the point where basically people start doing stupid stuff. We basically have like a nuclear war. So basically everybody start sending their nukes out. Everybody's messing things up. And right when humanity is really at their weakest, we're sending out an even virus to wipe out everybody else who he needs with written out or whatever.
Yes. And so we see Green Lantern and Plastic Man and Wonder Woman trying to stop, like a part of it actually did escape. Green Lantern contains it, thankfully. Flash is like in there trying not to catch this virus that has killed Ghoul Squad number 105. Pour one out for the homie 105.
Pour one out, bro. I gotta pour one out, bro.
So and then Green Lantern's like, look, I got this. They end up like, what do? They take the Earth, or that part of the Earth, and throw it into the sun. Dude, that shit is hilarious. They just like scooped a boulder of Earth and just threw it into the sun like it was nothing. It was like, all right, yeet it into the sun. And then Plastic Man and Wonder Woman have to go find the other canister, which they were about to release. And then Wonder Woman does her old magical lasso, like, do you really want to die? And he's like, yes. And he's like, do you really want to die? And he's like, no. I'm like, all right. Yeah, so back with Superman and Batman trying to stop Raj Al Ghul, talk some sense into him, or beat some sense into him, whichever. Yeah, basically they've had enough of his shit. And they're like, all right, this is done. Martian Manhunter shows up. He's like, I'm all done with this too. And so somehow Raj still escapes, though. There's 3 of like the most powerful people in DC Comics.
Yeah.
And Raj still slips through the cracks somehow.
Yep.
I was just like, they don't even explain it. He's just gone.
He's just
like, nobody sees where he went. They don't show him that.
Bro, he's been watching Batman do it for so long. He was like, I'm a ninja. I could do
like
that too.
A panel, this dude is just ghosted. The whole, like, it's like some fat bitch on Tinder. He's just gone out of there, dude. Like, he's just like, oh no, I don't think so, son. And he's just gone. God. I was like, all right, yeah. I was like, all right, dude, that's cool. So Batman proceeds to beat up every other Ghoul Squad member that's there. He's like, I'm so angry. Let me beat up everybody else.
I mean, Raja had to get there so he could pull one out for 105 and also prepare the funerals, bro. That's a big gut, bro. A good man. A good man's family, bro.
So instead of like chasing after Raj Al Ghul, who couldn't have gone that far, it's not like he's teleporting somewhere.
Like he's gonna run away from Superman.
Yeah, or the Flash. Like
Now
this
I'm just
dude
saying,
is
like
just
Superman, who can literally look through things and see where this
Right.
dude is going, and then like he's not gonna outrun Superman. Like, come
But
on.
apparently he's got, and instead of looking for them, like, well, let's just go back to the headquarters.
Let's
out in
go to leave.
space.
We got more important things to talk about, like
Yeah.
Batman's trial, apparently. Like, okay.
Yeah, they put Batman on trial. So they sit him down at the conference room table and they all go upstairs and they're like, let's talk about it. Let's see who if we think he should stay or if he should go. And it's a split decision.
Of course, Wonder
However,
Woman's like, get his ass out of there. I love Diana.
dude, Wonder Woman instantly,
She's a
like,
savage, bro.
yeah, it was like there was not even like a debate. She didn't like talk out arguments or anything. She was just like gone.
Gone.
Expulsion.
Get his ass out.
Yeah,
Deuces.
elimination. Yeah, and then like everyone else is just kind of like everyone else takes a little more time as far as debating. If I remember correctly, Wally West votes to keep him. Martian Manhunter votes to keep him
because that's when Martian brings up his stuff.
Yeah, that he also
and even Superman gotta like hold him a little bit because he's getting so animated and angry.
Oh yeah, he was getting angry about it for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I can't remember what did Aquaman vote. I can't remember. Did he say to keep him?
I feel like Aquaman said leave.
Yeah, Aquaman said to boot him. Who was the third? Oh, Plastic Man voted to keep him, right? Or no?
I can't remember what Plastic Man. I can't remember what he said.
Shit, Plastic
Man. In terms of leave or stay.
Oh, Plastic Man said get him the fuck out of here.
Okay.
He didn't even. Yeah, he didn't debate too much on it either. He said get him.
To be fair, he did get turned into ice and broken apart. So that probably sucked.
And so basically, it's basically 3-3. And it comes down to Superman. Of course it does. And they're like, Superman, you are the swing vote. You've known him the longest. You're probably the closest thing to a friend.
Ain't no probably. He's the closest person to him.
Yeah, and they're like, well, he's probably gonna know how you vote. And Batman knew exactly how everyone would vote. Of course, because of course he did. Because he's Batman. Golly. Oh, here we go. Thank you, JBK's dad. Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and Plastic Man voted him out.
Thank you. I remember Aquaman and one of those.
And then technically Superman voted him out too. In my mind, I know they don't say it. Like I know that's kind of one of those things that's left up to debate.
Yeah, because it doesn't.
In my opinion,
not right. I'm pretty sure this goes into Queen of Fable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it goes into Queens of Fable, and that's when you really find out, obviously, what whether he stays or not. But we know.
Yes. But in my opinion, Superman is saying vote him out, and that's kind of why Batman leaves. Yes,
Batman was gone, bro.
Batman was like as fast as Ra's al Ghul disappeared because he was trained, of course. But
they're ninjas.
The League of Shadows. So the League of Ghouls. So Batman, like between the time, well, I don't even know why they need to take an elevator. Half of them can fly, but they all get in the elevator to go down to Batman, and he's gone.
Dude, I'm not
again.
If I'm Superman, the whole time I'm staring at him with my eyes to see what he's doing. So if he leaves, I'm knowing that he's leaving.
And again, they're like, let's not look for him. He couldn't have gotten far. We're in fucking outer space. They're just like, oh shit, he's gone. All right, well that ends that discussion, and that's how we end.